video podcast where I like to talk about all the crafty things I like to do. And since I've been titling these Flosstubes, I'm talking about cross-stitch. I used to do knitting podcasts and I still knit, but very little because cross-stitch has completely taken over my life, really. Not my entire life, but my crafting life for sure. This is Flosstube number 14 and today is the 29th of June 2025, and yeah, it's been basically exactly a month since we talked last. I think I filmed the last one on June 1st, so we're gonna have a nice little monthly recap, and I'm glad I'm getting to do this. My husband is rock climbing with my daughter currently, and my son is actually down for a nap, which does not happen very often anymore. So I don't think I have that much time, but I only have 5 projects to talk about today, of which there's only 2 full coverage actually. I think the last few episodes I've basically only shown you full coverage projects, but I've worked on some of my non-full coverage this time around, including a new start that I would like to share with you guys. And yeah, my plan is to talk about my whips, and I want to go a little bit into my whip go that I started doing this year and since neglected a little bit. So I want to tell you about my plans regarding that and a new cross-stitch challenge that I've joined since I talked to you last that I'm very excited about, and I'm sure you've already heard about from other Flosstubers if you're not already taking part yourself. But more on that later. Let's get into this. I hope it won't be like an abrupt stop when my son takes over, but maybe we have to have some scene changes for me to finish this at some point. But we're just gonna try to roll with the punches as they go. Not that my son waking up is a punch. Nope. Okay, but yeah, let's just get into it. And the first full coverage I'm going to show you is my only a 10 stitch project that I've worked on this month, and there's only 169 stitches in. So I think I've only worked on it maybe 1 or 2. I think that's just one sitting, honestly. Yeah. Since the last episode, and most of my stitching has gone into one project that's coming up. But yeah, apart from these stitches, they're all going to be full crosses, which is very untypical for me. If there is a typical with me, I'm not stitching that long, but I guess it's been over a year by now, so maybe I'm starting to become a little bit more of a experienced stitcher. Anyways, who cares? So the project I want to show you now that I put 169 stitches in is my Witcher piece. So yeah, I'm just gonna put him on the screen and probably overlay somewhere where it was last. Honestly, I don't quite remember, but I guess it hasn't looked too different since I only put so little stitches in. I'm stitching this on 32 count, a 1/110 stitch using CXC. And I'm very happy with the coverage. I don't think that you can see Henry Cavill just yet. Maybe I'll also pop in a picture of how the finished piece will look like. This isn't a chart you can get anywhere. I did chart this myself, and I also created the image myself using images from the internet, mainly from the computer games and the Netflix series. But yeah, I charted that myself. It's quite a lot of confetti in the face, but I'm hoping that the darker areas, like this is all 310, that those are a little bit more block stitching. We'll see. I mean, I started in the middle, which is somewhere here, I think. That's the middle of the piece, and then the face was right there. So I figured, okay, let's get started with the face. See how my charting looks like in the face, and if it's horrendous, I guess I know early on, because this is actually my biggest piece. So I've done altogether 2,871 stitches in this piece, which puts me at 0.8%, because the total amount is 369,805 stitches. So this is my biggest piece that I have going on. And I realized I forgot to tell you why I started in the middle on this, because usually I like to start in the upper right corner. But I have super slim margins on this one. I think I might have like 2 centimeters on each side with this one, but I guess since this is a full coverage, if I ever end up framing this, if I ever end up finishing this and framing this, I can sew on additional fabric if that is needed for the framing progress, but it should fit on this thing. But yeah, I did a little boo-boo calculating how much fabric I need, and then I already had it cut, and I didn't want to waste a piece of fabric, so I just decided to stitch on it. But in order to make sure I at least use the fabric in its fullest potential and don't actually end up running out of fabric in one corner, I'll just start in the middle and make sure it fits on it, even though it'll fit very, very tightly. But yeah, so this is it. It has not been I've been drawn to one project, basically. I could say I've all the projects haven't really been talking to you, because it's only been one project really that I had the urge working on. But the next piece on the pile with 213 stitches added since last time is actually my long dog sampler, and this is Ragnarok. So let me show you. This is it from afar. Maybe I'll put the before below, and then I can show you in detail where I've been working on. So yeah, I've been, how do I show you without the fabric falling? I've been working here, basically adding this border a little bit. I think that might be it, honestly. I don't even think I added stitches here. That's just, yeah, I took it in the garden one day and worked on it a little bit. So yes, I'm working this full cross with hand-dyed silk that I dyed myself with indigo, and the fabric is a 36 count linen that I hand-dyed with a coffee and some iron, and I really like the shade of brown, gray brown that it turned out to be, because it does remind me of old oak, which I think is fitting with the whole Viking Ragnarok theme. And yeah, not much else to say here. The total stitches of this is 64,224. I did start this last year for the leap year sale that has been going on, even though I didn't start exactly on that day. But if I continue like I am stitching on this right now, I'm not going to make it being done in now less than 3 years, because I'm not even a quarter way done. I'm not even 10% done. I think, what's the percentage on this? Now my computer turned itself off. What's the percentage? 8.7. So very far from where I should be if I wanted to finish it for the next leap year. But maybe I'll just make it a double leap year thing, and I might have a chance getting it done then. Not even then, because I would need to have 12.5% by now, but I'm close to that. Anyways, I'm rambling. So did I show you? This is what the finished piece will look like in the end. I might have already added that, but I'll show you now. So yeah, Ragnarok, my long dog samplers. I really like it. Yay! Okay, the next piece is a piece I haven't touched in a while either, and it is part of a series from the Witchy Stitcher called the Nostalgic Tarot, and I've stitched one card so far. I stitched the Fool, and I'm currently working on the Hanged Man. So let me show you what it'll look like in the end, and I did do some recharting, not really recharting, I just changed some colors. I'll pop in her version, which is just more pink. So her headers are pink and the details, and mine is just more blue. And I'll do that to all of them because I like blue more than I do like pink, but I do appreciate the rainbow, and I left some of her charted pink in. It's not like I don't like pink at all. I just like blue more. And so yeah, so this is what I'll look at in the end. And this is what I have so far. So I really like how this is coming along. I'm stitching this on 40 count, 1/2 with a mix, I think, of DMC and anchor thread. So the colors are slightly different from what she's calling for. Some are the called for, some are substitutes from DMC and anchor. Obviously the blues I chose myself. But yeah, really enjoying this. I added 242 stitches since last time. And we have a new floss tuber among us. He's called Joshua from CrossStitch and Cambria. So if you want to see this project way further along, he is stitching this project, and he's doing it as charted by the Witchy Stitcher, and he's actually doing it with the frame. So I decided to stitch mine all separate because I want to finish them as card-like as possible one day. I still haven't done anything with the full yet. But he, like the Witchy Stitcher, also released a whole frame for the piece that you can download from her Patreon. This is, by the way, you only get these if you're part of her Patreon, or you have to wait. Eventually she'll release them in her normal shop, so you can get them even not being a Patreon, but then you'll just have to wait a little longer. But I'm part of her Patreon, so I have a bunch of the cards, but I'm only working on these two. But yeah, anyways, so Joshua, he's up to date. Like, he's actually stitching them as they come out, so he has a lot of the cards done. Actually don't really know how many more are missing. I don't think, but definitely over halfway through. I haven't counted. I don't even know what the total is, honestly. I think the full tarot is something like 72, but she's only releasing cards for the major arcana. I don't know. I would have to lie. I don't know exactly. I'm not that into tarot that I know how many cards that is. But I do know it's 72 in total, so it's not like I don't know anything. And now probably the 72 is wrong. But anyways, we don't have to talk about that. But yeah, check out his channel. He's really fun to listen to. He has lots of great stories. He's a storyteller for sure. I guess we have that in common. He's not a monogamous stitcher, but he definitely doesn't have like a million projects on the go at the same time. He is more, I mean, he has one big full coverage, and he has this one going, the tarot cards. Has he got another one going? Honestly, I don't quite remember just now, but definitely not a 200 whips kind of person, that's for sure. It's below 10. I can fairly securely say that. Okay, I see my card is running out of space, so I have to delete some old footage, and see you in a second. So yeah, the next project is actually already my new start, which also which also will bring me to my whip go. But let me show you my new start first. Hang on, let me put this project away. I always create this crazy mess, and it takes me forever to tidy up, so if I do it right away, I have a better chance. So yeah, whip go. So I started doing whip go this year, and I had these grand plans of starting a bunch of new projects, bringing my whip total up to 25, which I still generally like that idea, but there were a lot of non-full coverage pieces amongst my planned new starts, and I turned out to be more of a full coverage stitcher, honestly. And now you could say, well, I mean, I'm sure you found a few more patterns that you would like to stitch, which yes, is totally true. But at the same time, I'm not the fastest stitcher. I don't get that much progress. I think since like in the last month, because I've been mainly doing full cross, I only got like 6,000 stitches in. And I don't want to be stuck with like a million projects that only have like a tiny little corner started and you can't really see what they're even about. I do like seeing progress and pushing my pieces forward. So I feel like I'm quite saturated with my full coverage, even though there is a bunch that I would love to start. But I think I'm gonna wait until I really just can't hold myself, because I just want to start this project. And there is one that's really been, don't you want to start me? But other than I have the crazy urge, I want to start that project. I don't think I want to just start a project just for starting a project's sake. So I have how many? I have like 6 whip go calls that I have not finished. One of which is actually my full moon raven piece, which I might just say it right away. I think that one is just going to be a goner. I think this is going to be a UFO. I don't think I'm going to continue that. I had it on my whip go as a restart and a potential rechart as well. But there's some whirring going on outdoors. I hope you can't hear that too much, and I hope it's not going to be too annoying. But yeah, in the end, again, there is other charts that I'm kind of excited about and I'd rather start than restarting that one. So I think that one is just going to be a UFO, not to be seen again. And you know, as I'm talking about this, I'm just going to finish this, put in a UFO'd it. Yay. UFO, that is task complete. And yeah, that's that. And then I've had a few pieces, what Winter Walk, which is a pigeon coop design chart. I do like it. I do want to stitch it one day, but it's just not calling to me. So I have not done anything about it. That was called in May. The Snow Queen has been called now for July. We'll see about that. But same thing here. It's also a pigeon coop design one. I'm not sure if I'm keen on starting so many like non-full coverages. But one piece that was called that I really wanted to stitch because it was amongst the very first patterns that I've purchased. And I wanted to stitch that for our lake house. And that is Adjust Your Sails by... what's the designer? Sorry. Little Dev Designs on Etsy. So I started that one. Because I had it all kitted up. I had the perfect piece of fabric, and so I started this. So the finished piece, let me show you first, will look like this. So it's a nice nautical themed lighthouse, boats, water, all the stuff I like, stuff that fits to a lake house. I mean, this is more of an ocean theme, to be honest, with a lighthouse, but oh well. And the saying on there is, life isn't about waiting for the winds to change, it's about learning to adjust your sails, which I think is a nice little saying. And this is where I'm at. So I started in the middle, which was this little steering wheel here, and I've put in some boats. I think I tried kitting up with the colors as much as possible with the cold for, but I know like the blue is a variegated, DMC variegated, and I don't have that. So I'm using a sulky, which is more blue-green. I guess I have slight regrets with that because I have a more blue variegated one. But since this was sort of a turquoise blue that was charted, but it's still way more blue than my choice. So I don't know. I might take that out and redo with my other sulky that I have that has no green in it, that just has like darker and lighter blues. Maybe I'll do that, or I'll just leave this and do the other waves with that. I haven't decided, but yes, I'm happy where this is. This is easy to get progress on. How many stitches did I do? I did 1018 stitches. And when did I start this? June 2nd. So yay. That's that. Nothing more to say. Oh, there is more to say. Hang on. This is done on a 32 count gray linen. It's a mystery linen. I got that off when a shop was closing down, and it was my very first time shopping for cross stitch materials, and I didn't really know what was what, and I wasn't paying attention to it either. So yeah, but I do know it's a 32 count because I measured. And I think it's a linen because that's what it looks like. Casey, I don't know. Okay, now I'm done with this. Whoop. Sorry. So yeah, WhipGo. I don't know if I'm gonna ignore it or I think I'm just gonna pay attention to what are the WhipGo calls and what's coming up. Because yeah, actually, what I didn't say just yet, another piece that has been called now for July is actually my Woodland Santa tree skirt. And I really would like to get some progress in. I highly doubt I'm gonna get it done till Christmas, because I think I would have had to do way more stitches on it so far in order to have a chance for that. But since it is July and since that is a Christmas pattern, I might do a bit of a Christmas in July. At least that's my tentative plan. And it's been called for July, so it kind of just makes sense to hopefully get a little bit more progress in on that project. But that's only going to happen if I'm going to be able to detach myself from the following project, which is the main project that I've worked on. It's got my main stitching time every single day. Like the most amount of stitching I get in is at night past 9 when the kids are in bed. I usually sit down and stitch for about 2 hours while I watch my shows and Flosstubes. And yeah, so I've been, again, apart from the one day that I was stitching on Witcher, I think I've just been working on this and all the non-full coverage projects I've been doing on like the weekend when I'm sitting at the kitchen table waiting for, I don't know, stuff to happen, I guess. But that's all just like short spouts of time, or when I've been in the car or something. Then I grab my non-full coverage in hand stitching. Because my full coverage, I stitch in a hoop in my whole contraption. But yes, the piece that got the most progress in the past 4 weeks is my pumpkin spice cottage piece, and I love it so much. Like, it's so fun stitching on this project. So this is a kit from Gecko Rouge, and the artwork is by Kate Brazier. The final artwork looks like this. I love it. I love the colors, blues and oranges and reds. This color combination just gets me. And yeah, I have a goal of finishing these pumpkins by the fall. And I have a very good chance of that happening. Because the way I'm stitching on this is page by page. And these pages are pretty arbitrary because I just set them in my CrossStitch Saga software, but I finished, since last time, I think I had the first page done down here, but I stacked 2 more on top. So I finished 2 more pages on this piece. I actually finished this piece only last night, which really is a good point to just pause this project and let some other projects to get progress in. But it's just so much fun stitching on this. I just love it. Yeah, I do want to film a little bit of a tutorial type video where I show how I work with CrossStitch Saga. It'll be a little bit of a hybrid video because a new software has popped up. It's not that new actually, it's existed for a while, but I guess it's coming into radar of a a few people now. And that software is called CS Paradise. And with that software, you have the ability to, what's the word? Convert is the word. Convert PDF charts into a file type that is accepted by CrossStitch Saga, which is the biggest drawback of that CrossStitch software, and I think why it's not more widely used, is that you can't input PDF straight into this like you can with Pattern Keeper. But if you take the extra step, putting it into the CS Paradise app, you can convert it into a file type that you then can put into the CrossStitch Saga. And I mean, I figured out my own way, and I'll probably still do that for the odd chart, where I'll, for instance, like the Witchy Stitcher charts, where I want to rechart the colors and stuff like that. But if you just want to take your chart as it is and stitch it as it is, like you would usually do with Pattern Keeper as well, then I can only highly recommend that combination of the two apps. But yeah, I wanted to do a little video on that. Definitely let me know down below if you're interested in that. If there's a few people showing interest, my motivation will be higher and the video might come out sooner. I'm definitely planning on doing it. But yeah, I just don't know when I'll get around to filming that. But anyways, I love that software, the CrossStitch Saga. I just love stitching with it, and I think that's why I totally don't mind all the confetti. I actually love the confetti, because what I'm doing, I have my page marked out in that software, and then I'm just going through that page color by color, and if there's more confetti, I need to travel further, and my thread is done quicker, and I can change color again, and just is this sense of progress, you know? You're, yes, color done, next color, because you're finishing off colors in like a fairly small area. My page area is 40 by 60 stitches. So again, it's an arbitrary page. I think the Gecko Rouge pages are 60 by 70 stitches wide, technically. But since I'm not stitching directly off that chart, I'm doing my own thing. And small pages work for me. But what I was saying, so I worked out 3 pages. Like the top of the page that I just finished is here actually. And now I'm gonna work over, because this, what you can see here, those yellow stitches, are already part of the first little set of pumpkins there. And then around here is gonna be the second pile of pumpkins. So I'll need to finish 1, 2, 3 more pages, and then those pumpkins will be done. And that's my plan. So I'm gonna work across from here. And I guess when I'm then here, I'll decide if I fill in this, which is what I'm thinking of doing right now, because I'm a little bit annoyed by all this stuff happening. These all appeared when I started stitching on this. I had longer threads in the beginning, and I wasn't sticking to a page just yet, so I was just kind of working over this way. But eventually I decided to start working up here. And so that's why I have quite a few far traveled stitches down here, and it's getting a little bit more concise up here. But I will never just have like the square pages or rectangular pages, because I do finish my threads if I can. So I'll go outside of my page borders to finish a thread, because I don't think I'll be one for parking ever. I mean, never say never, but no. I don't like the way it looks, I don't like the way it feels, and I don't think the threads like it either, so there's no reason for me to start parking anytime soon. But yeah, have I told you? I don't think I've told you anything yet. So I'm stitching this on 25 count, 1/1 full cross. And I've put in 4,321 stitches since last time, which is good going, I think. It's not... Is it all of them though? I'm not sure if I put in... Hang on, let me double check that on my iPad. Oh, that's the nice thing with CrossStitch Saga too. You can retrace the amount of stitches you've been doing. Bam, bam, bam. No, it's even more than I actually did. Why did I write down 4,312? That can't be true. 21. Because here it just says... Oh, hang on. I missed this one. Okay, 4,359, according to my CrossStitch Saga. Yes, so... Yay. One last time. Oh, yeah. And another thing, I'm stitching this together with Anna from... Oh, sorry, Anna. What's your channel called? Alchemist Stitcher. I always said Alchemist Stitches. I'm sorry, Anna. But it is Alchemist Stitcher. And she's super lovely. She is a full coverage stitcher. And she's also working on this. And she started in the other corner, which I think is super cool. Because then you can see the piece come to life from a different corners. And yay, she just had a great finish. I'm expecting an episode soon, maybe this weekend, I don't know, because woo, I hope I didn't spoil anything, but she has a big finish to show, so I'm excited for our next episode. But I've seen the finish. If you are online, you probably would have seen it too, so I don't think I'm spoiling anything. Anyways, go check her out, she's lovely. And yeah, that is all the stitching I've been doing. And you know what another reason is why I've been so concentrated on this one? Hey guys, editing Caro here. So I decided to overlay some Stitch With Me footage that I gathered in the month before, but I did not put it online for multiple reasons. So enjoy some stitching while I ramble on and until the end of the podcast, I guess. There is a little bit of footage of me screen recording as well in the middle of this somehow. But yeah, I figured I'd give you some Stitch With Me footage in the meantime. I started stitching along with a cross-stitch challenge. Abby, I believe her name is, from Cross and Stitches? No, hang on. What's her? I'm sorry. I'm so terrible with like names and all that stuff. Hang on, I need to check out Facebook. She started a Facebook group with a challenge. You don't have to be on Facebook in order to take part in the challenge. Cross and Crafts, sorry. Abby from Cross and Crafts. She's actually also recently started doing a Flosstube. She gets a ton of progress done. I'm always just so jealous isn't the right word, but I always just wish I could get more stitches in, but whatever. I'm a slow stitcher. I guess I'll just have to live with that. But yeah, go check her out. But she also created, and I'll link everything below. Also, oh yeah, I meant to say that when I was talking about the CS Paradise app. I highly recommend, if you're interested at all in stitching one day with CrossStitch Saga, join a Facebook group called, hang on, I do have it open so I can just tell you what it's called, CrossStitch Saga Help and Tips on Facebook. If you are on Facebook, go join that group. I'll link it down below, and you'll be able to figure out and like get info on how to get all these softwares and stuff. I'll try to link whatever I can link, not everything I can link down there. So yeah, but go check out that group. It's great. But yes, the thing I was talking about just now is a series of challenges by Cross and Crafts is the title of the Facebook group for this. And her idea, and she's released since 2 more book series, but yeah, she has basically created challenges for you to stitch the total number of words contained in a book series in stitches. And she started out with the Harry Potter series, so you basically stitch every single word in every one of the 7 books in the book series. And once you stitch them all, you can even, I think, contact her and show her the proof of your stitches, and she'll send you a little like congratulations form and I think a little knick-knack from her shop, because she does have an Etsy shop as well. But I mean, that is a long way down the line, because the Harry Potter books, I don't know the exact number, but it's over 1 million stitches that you have to do in order to complete this series. But yeah, what she did is she took every book, and I think that's just knowledge you can figure out online how many words are in each one of the books, and then she split those words into the chapters, which is just an even split. I think she did take the actual amount of chapters that are in each book and then divvied up all the stitches per chapter, and then each chapter again is divvied up in pages, and it goes down to chunks that are somewhere between 400 stitches up to 700 stitches per like page pair. And the chapters, they are between 4,000 and 6,000 stitches, depending on the book, depending on how many words are in the book and chapters are. But that's the rough layout, I guess, of the challenge. And then you can post within that group. I mean, you can post whenever you want, but people tend to post when they either finished a couple pages or when they finished a chapter. I don't think I've seen a book finished just yet, because the challenge started on the 8th of June. But I've been working on chapter 1 on the Goblet of Fire, and the reason why I haven't started on chapter 1 of book 1, the Philosopher's Stone, is because I matched up the amount of words of each book with the amount of stitches of my full coverage pieces. So I took every one of my full coverage pieces and gave them to a book, basically. So let me go to my thing here. Yes, okay, so I'm just gonna do a little bit of a screen recording and overlay that. But you'll see my notions page. So I've been nerding around a little bit again, and I have my cross stitch notion, which is a template from, there it is, which is a template from, I forgot. I'll link it below. It's a template you can buy. I've changed it heavily since, so I have it set up so I can see my progress since last podcast, so I know my sums, my totals, the projects I've worked on, how many stitches I did, and all that stuff. So I'm not always struggling to find all the information, and the hope is to, remember telling you about more of the information I have. I have this chart, which I really like to see which project kind of is the furthest along with my Finish Friday thing, which I've also not been very good at because it's my amazing loon and I'm a little bit in a bad spot with that piece, but whatever. But I did set up my Harry Potter stitching challenge that goes along with the Cross and Crafts series of challenges. And yeah, so up here you can see my books, the Philosopher's Stone and so on and so forth. And yeah, I matched up all the books with the amount of stitches that are in the piece. You can see that right here, but whatever, we can go in Deathly Hallows, for instance. So the stitch count is 268,675, and the word count is 198,227. So I would finish this book before I finished the piece. But whatever, if I go into this one, which is my biggest piece, which is the book with the most words, is 257,000. And again, my piece is bigger, but I have other instances. I think the Chamber of Secrets, for instance. Yeah, where my piece is only 58,000. Realizing I have it linked to the wrong number. Oh, I think that's what's left since I started this challenge. Oh yeah. And the word count is like 85. So even if I would finish that piece, I wouldn't finish the book. So eventually I'll have to add another piece to the Chamber of Secrets to finish the book. But I might as well just take one of the pieces that had too many stitches for the book. Because if I put all the projects together and the total stitch count of what I still need to do to finish everything that I have on the go, and you can see here in the Philosopher's Stone, for instance, you can't see the graphic right now because it's just whatever, it's always in a weird format. But I have basically all my non-full coverages in here. There's also the Woodland Santa tree squirt up top, which you can't see right now, but you can kind of see the other ones. And obviously my Ragnarok is another book as well. But yeah, if you add up all the stitches I need to do for all these projects, then it's actually kind of perfect. It's both around 1 million, basically. It doesn't match up 1-to-1, obviously, but it's pretty close. So if I just stick to the projects I have right now, I could finish them all and finish the challenge. But that is probably like 25 years down the line. Anyways, so I have these books, and then each book has chapters, and I can see which ones I'm working on. I'm still in chapter 1 on every single book, and I can see how many stitches I need to do, meaning word count, and where I'm at in my progress on finishing that. And you can see the Goblet of Fire, which is my pumpkin spice cottage piece. I'm at 78% done on chapter 1. So I've been trying to finish this, but this actually has a fairly high word count per chapter. This one is 5,152 stitches, but you can see here, for instance, the Philosopher's Stone, you only need 4,500 stitches to finish a chapter. But anyways, and then it's broken down into pages again. And here I'm basically still on page 1 and 2 for all the books other than the Goblet of Fire, because there I'm working on pages 15 and 16, and down here is like the not started ones, and eventually there's the done ones. So this is a pretty neat little setup. I like it a lot. I just keep working on it and see my progress, and then everything just kind of moves up in the chain when I finish stuff, and I can post on the Facebook group. And yeah, I love it. I would like to share this somehow with other people. I just don't really know how to make that work. I guess it would work for people that have the same template, because it all references back to my main database, which again I got off that person that I can't remember right now, because like the main databases, I mean, I changed a lot of these views and things and how things are presented, but the main database files that you have in Notions, if you don't do Notions, you probably don't know what I'm talking about right now, and I'm sorry. But yeah, here I have all my projects that are in a go, and the Harry Potter stuff is all referencing on this. But if you're using Notions already for your stitching, I guess in any shape or form, you could probably make this thing work, but it wouldn't be a just plug and play. You would have to go into the relations and kind of change them a little bit to make that work. So I'll play around with that a little bit, but I've been working quite hard on just setting this up and losing a bit of stitching time on this. So I don't know. I don't feel like I'm spending more time right now sitting at my computer just philosophizing about stitching instead of just actually stitching. But yeah, that is all the stuff I meant to show you. If you're interested in that Notion template, and if you have ideas on how to like if you know more about Notions than me, I only started using Notions with this Notion stitching template. So I don't know. I mean, I'm sure it's possible. I mean, yeah, I know you can make templates and stuff. I just don't know how it works with, you need an additional thing for this template to work. I think that's where the difficulty comes in. And I can share the other part of my stuff, because that's something you have to purchase yourself if you want that. But I can leave the link for that for sure. It's very useful. I love it. You can, because yeah, you set it up in your database, and then you can pull and extract data however you like, whatever you're interested in, what you do daily, what you do weekly, what you do monthly, what you do yearly. I mean, most of that is already set up. You don't even need to set up anything for that. I mean, it is designed for cross stitching, but yeah, it's just nice. Like, whatever, I have my to buy thing where I see like the charts, and I can like look at them and browse through them, and I see them all from all the different like cross stitch designers and stuff. And yeah, I keep looking at the same ones again and again. Like, oh, I wanna start a Margaret Morales piece so bad. I guess my biggest problem is I don't know which one, because I love a lot. She loves green and blue, so you know, like she has one with Koi's I don't know off the top of my head what that one is called yet. I can put in a picture, but I really like that one. I'm thinking about that one very hard. Maybe because I have a master set of CXC right now. Maybe I could, if that one would fit on one of my 32 count cuts that I have, that could be another 32 count start. I would have to look into that, but yeah, I'm very tempted to start another one. Yeah, I don't know. Let me guys know if you're interested in a whip braid. Actually, maybe I should have asked that sooner when not everybody's already out, after I kind of said I'm already done talking about everything and I've just been talking about nerdy things. But yeah, let me know if you're interested in a whip braid. I feel like most of my episodes are basically a whip braid because I don't have that many projects going, and yeah, I work on most of them in a month. So I don't know if it's necessary for me to do a whip parade, but I guess it's just nice because people love watching whip parades. And I guess from a YouTube perspective, it's also a great opportunity to draw new viewers. But I don't know. I don't want to do it if you guys don't feel like you want it. So I guess I ask you who are already followers, would you be interested in seeing a whip parade from me? In the hopes I won't ramble on and on and on and on for each piece and get a little bit more of a concise overview of what I have going, because I did start a few things this year, but yeah, I don't know. So far, I don't feel like it's terribly necessary for me to start, and not to start, to do a whip parade, but I'll do it if you guys want to see it. Let's put it that way. Okay, well, let me know what are we putting down below. Let's put a pumpkin. Let's put a pumpkin as an emoji. If you made it to the end, you can show me that you are one of the real ones. Who says that? Who says that? I think Baiban says that. Yeah, I'm not up to date with her. I think she said that. Throw me an emoji to show me that you're a real one. I stole that line from somebody. It might be her, it might not be her. But anyways, a pumpkin. Throw me a pumpkin and I'll be happy. And try to remember your name, even though I'm terrible at it. Okay, I stop now. Bye bye. See you later.